Welcome back, students. So now let us move on to the content. The Browning version, the play by Terence Rattigan. In the last module, we were discussing that Taplow, a student, that he made the statement that Mr. Crocker Harris, he doesn't like being liked by others. It means students. Whenever the students used to appreciate, praise him, flatter, he doesn't like. He is not that sort of teacher or master. That time Frank made the statement. So I don't know the boys like you. I don't understand. Why don't you use this for your own purposes? Why don't you use? Frank asked. Then Taplow replied that, well, it is natural, sir. Right? Not with the crock. Who made the statement? Taplow. That not with the crock. Then when Taplow said the crock, when he uttered his name, a single name, that time Frank said, in between that he interrupted. Frank said, no, Mr. Crocker Harris. You should say Mr. Crocker Harris. Then Taplow, then he said, in spite of everything, sir, I don't know what happens. In spite of everything, I do rather like him. Though I know that I don't like the teacher or something, it means some things are there which I used to hate, but still, in spite of all these things, I do rather like of him. And I think he sees it, he feels it, and that seems to shrivel him up even more. Who? Mr. Crocker Harris, he seems that he knows that we student like him, so that is why I think he shrivels him or even more. Who made this statement? Taplow. That time Frank said that I think you are exaggerating, something boasting that you are telling about him. That time Taplow said, no sir. Then he narrated one incident. Actually, what happened in the form, last form. What happened? Taplow said that what happened that one day that he made a joke, and that was the classical joke. He made a joke in class or in the form. Nobody understood it, right? So that is why nobody laughed. But I laughed. Who made? Why I laughed? Because I knew, Taplow said, because I knew what he had meant, and it had meant something funny, so that is why I laughed. Only I was the only one who laughed at his joke. Otherwise, nobody understood, so that is why nobody laughed. And I laughed out of that ordinary common politeness. I laughed, and I was feeling a bit sorry for him for having made a poor joke. So that is why I laughed. And do you know what happened later on, sir? That was a poor joke. And I think you too would laugh. Then Frank laughed. Then once again Taplow, that he continued that in a gentle voice, once again imitating the voice of Mr. Crocker Harris, Taplow continued that in the voice of Mr. Crocker Harris. Because Crocker Harris, when Taplow laughed in class on his joke, that poor joke or the classical joke, that time, little joke, then Crocker Harris asked him, or he told him, and here Taplow imitates the same in front of Frank. What did he say? Taplow, you laughed at my little joke or the poor joke. I noticed, and I must admit, and I am pleased. Pleased means I am happy that you have that advanced knowledge of Latin, and you understood my joke, that poor classical joke. You understood, so that is why you laughed, and I am pleased that you have that advanced knowledge. So what you do, it would be enough good for you to explain it means this joke to the class, to other students, it would be good enough to share your pleasure with others. Who said? Mr. Crocker Harris said to Taplow, and same statement or the same statement now he repeated, Taplow repeated in front of Frank, a science teacher, imitating his voice, Mr. Crocker Harris' voice. Now see here, one thing you notice, twice he has repeated. Once when he was talking about the remove certificate, when Mr. Crocker Harris, he had told him that I had given you what you deserve, not less or certainly not more that time, and now second time here about this classical joke to explain it to the class, right? So now only concluding part of this play is left, that we will continue in the next video module. Thank you, children.